Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, we have done the first part of chapter number 10, that is living creatures. Okay, so we have already done the first part. You can find the lecture in the part 1. Now we are doing the second part of the chapter, part 2. All right, so we'll be starting with the life cycle of a plant. Now, students, we have learned about conditions required for germination. What did we see? That if we take a seed and we put it in a moist cloth, what happens? Sprouts come out of the seed. This eruption of sprout is called germination. Now, for germination, we need sufficient amount of water, and some seeds, as we studied, can erupt sprout without exposed to sunlight, and some need sunlight for the eruption of sprout, that is for the process of germination. Okay, so we have already learned about the conditions and how plants grow and exhibit movement. Okay, now we will explore the changes of a plant in its whole life. That is, we are going to learn about the life cycle of a plant. So let us quickly come to this diagram. So here what you see in figure 10.4 is the life cycle of a bean plant. So it starts with stage 1. So in the first stage we have a seed. Okay, now what do? We bury the seed inside a soil. Okay, so when we bury the seed inside the soil, what happens? The seed erupts sprout. Okay, so this eruption of sprout from the seed is called seed germination. Okay, and after the eruption of the sprout, a part of this from that erupts two parts from the seed. A part of the seed is the root, which is under the soil. Then a part of the seed which comes out of the ground is the shoot. Now the shoot in stage 3 develops into stem and leaves. So this is the third stage in which the leaves appear. Okay, then in the fourth stage you will observe that flowers come out. Okay, so in the fourth stage we see the appearance of flowers. All right, now in the fifth stage you will see the appearance of fruit. So we took a bean seed, so there will be a bean seed or a pea seed, so there will be beans coming out of the plant. Okay, so you can see the fruit over here. Now since the fruits have erupted, once it is ready to be plucked, what do? We take the fruit from the plant, and after a certain time you will observe that the plant no more grows any flowers and fruit, and hence it withers and dies. So that's the death of the plant. Now you got the fruit, you can again take a seed from the food, sow it in the soil. Again, what will happen? Seed germination will take place. It will give birth to root and shoot. Then from the shoot will come out the leaves and the stem, which is above the ground. Roots remain under the ground. Then we have the appearance of flowers, then appearance of fruits. Again, after a certain interval of time, you will see that the plant is not bearing any flower or fruit, and it withers and dies. Okay, so this life cycle continues. This is the life cycle of a bean plant. Now, let us go into the life cycle of animals. So just like we learnt about the life cycle of a plant, we also have life cycle of animals because they also grow over time. Okay, so let us see, draw sketches of their young ones and name them. Okay, so firstly we have life cycle of a mosquito. So mosquitoes buzzing around is a common experience for all of us. You all have seen mosquitoes around you in your house. Yes. And what do we use? A repellent. If we don't want mosquitoes in our house, because some mosquitoes, they transmit several diseases like malaria, dengue, chikungunya. Okay. So you must have learned about it from the newspapers, notice boards, in the awareness campaigns that mosquito breeding should be prevented. So we should keep our environment neat and clean. We should not allow stagnant water anywhere in the surrounding. Why? Because of the stagnant water, mosquitoes breed. So mosquitoes, they breed in stagnant water. They lay their eggs in stagnant water. We will be learning about it. So let us go. Okay, now conduct a safety audit in your school or at your home and surrounding to check for stagnant water. You have to check whether there is stagnant water around or not. Okay, so if available, carry a hand lens to observe any small creatures if you have it. Some common places where stagnant water is likely to gather are desert coolers, are planted pots, or any open container. Okay, so you may find two different types of worm-like creatures like larva and pupa, two distinct life stages during the development of mosquito. So these are the two life stages of a mosquito, larva and pupa. In case you observe larva and pupa or larvae and pupate, report to your teacher, because they will be developing into a dangerous disease carrying mosquito. All right. So here you can see the diagram 10.5. In fact, figure 10.5, you have the diagram of a pupa and diagram of a larva. They are, it is of a mosquito found in stagnant water body. Mosquito larvae and pupa observed in water bodies reportedly come to the water surface. You will observe them on the surface of water. Okay. What can be the reason? Why is it on the surface? Mosquito larvae and pupa live in water and require air to respire because they are living beings. So they move to the surface of water for air. So next time if you see them on the top of the water, you know why they are on the surface of the water. Why are they on the surface of water? Because they need air to respire. Okay. Now, let's see what are they saying. How can the life cycle of mosquito be disrupted? How can you disrupt? Like, how can you stop the mosquitoes from growing? So you see, he's saying, I have seen my mother spraying kerosene oil on stagnant water. Now he's wondering, why does she do so? Why is she spraying kerosene oil? What is kerosene oil? You must have seen kerosene oil at your home sometimes. Okay, so we see our mother spraying kerosene oil on stagnant water. Why? Kerosene oil actually forms a thin layer over the water surface, because oil, it is lighter than water. It forms a thin layer over the surface of water. This layer separates water from the air. Now the larva and the pupa, they do not get the air to respire or inhale. As a result, they die. Okay, so this is the reason some people spray kerosene oil on stagnant water. Now here we have an activity, let us see activity 10.5. Let us solve an interesting puzzle. What is the puzzle? How will you decide which stage, larva or pupa, comes immediately after the egg stage? Suppose you are given a container with water from a puddle containing larva and pupa. Design an activity to find out the correct sequence of these stages. So we have to find the correct sequence of stage. Okay, so what we can do is step 1, water container with mosquito larva and pupa. Step 2, you separate 4-5 larvae and pupa into 2 separate containers with same water. Then step 3, you observe them every day until you see them changing into the next stage. Now, if the larva change into pupa, it would mean that the larva stage comes before the pupal stage. Okay, or if the pupa changes into the larva first, then you know that the after pupa comes the larval stage. Okay, I will keep watching both containers to see which one a mosquito appears first. Now, in which stage the mosquito appears first, then you can conclude the sequence of the stages. Okay, so we have a sequence here. You see, life cycle of a mosquito. So stage 1 is the egg. Okay, first the mosquito lays the egg. Then stage 2, the eggs develop into larva. In stage 3, the larva develops into a pupa. And in stage 4, that pupa develops into an adult mosquito who is ready to bite. Okay, so this is the life cycle of a mosquito. So what did we learn? Stage 1, that is egg. From egg, we get larva. From larva, we get pupa. From pupa, we get the mosquito. So these are the 4 stages of the life cycle of a mosquito. All right. Now, life cycle of a frog. In 10.5.2, we will be learning about the life cycle of a frog. So here, Avdi and Ayush, they are all dressed up in full sleeve shirts and full pants. Now it's raining intermittently for a week. It's raining continuously. Okay, so they are going out with their classmate for an activity. What is the activity? After a brief walk, led by their science teacher, they reach a shallow pond. Now it is surrounded by trees and tall grasses. The teachers warns them to watch everything from a distance without disturbing or causing any disturbance. Okay. So what do they see? They see white jelly-like substance on the surface of water towards the edge of the pond. You see here, this is the lotus leaf, and on the leaf of the lotus, you see some white jelly-like substance, right? Now, this may also be attached to plants growing in or around water. As I told you, it is attached to the lotus leaf. This jelly-like substance is actually a cluster of eggs, of a frog, and it is called spawn. So, what are these cluster of eggs called? Spawn. So, what is spawn? They are nothing but cluster of eggs of a frog. Cluster of eggs of a frog. What is it called? Spawn. Okay. Now you observe the features of all stages of the life cycle of the frog. As you can see, A, B, C, D, E, F. So we have these egg or the spawn, and then what do we see? We see these tiny creatures like C, and then this is developing some hands, as you can see in D, and then in B you see that they have developed full hands, legs, and they also have a tail, and then in E they developed into a full frog. Can you arrange them in sequence? I told you a few of them. Can you arrange them, the life cycle in a sequence? Can you write what will happen stage by stage? So let us see. Let us read a bit. Yeah. You see, what will happen? You will see 4 stages in the life cycle of a frog. Okay. The first stage is the egg stage, which progresses to the embryo stage. Then comes the tadpole stage, consisting of an early stage with a tail, no legs, nothing. Okay, just a tail. A late stage appears with the hind legs. So now it also has a hind leg along with the tail. Then comes the froglet stage, and then the adult frog. Okay, so here is the diagram, and the diagram is very important for all the life cycles. I tell you, all my students, please, including the life cycle of a plant, life cycle of a mosquito, life cycle of a frog, you have to practice the diagrams, okay, because they will come in your examination. Now let us see the life cycle of a frog. So first stage is the spawn. Spawn is nothing but jelly-like substances present on the surface of water or maybe attached to some plants or leaves growing inside the water body. Okay, so cluster of eggs. Now this spawn is on the day 1. From day 3 to day 4, this spawn turns into an embryo. Okay, so you can see it is somewhat similar, jelly-like, but a bit bigger in size. So this is the embryo. Then we have the second stage. Okay, the first stage is divided into two, spawn and embryo. Then we have the second stage. The second stage is again divided into two. Stage 2A is tadpole with a tail. So it is now turning into a tadpole. So this one is a tadpole with a tail. It appears from day 7 to day 10. Okay, and in stage 2B, we still have a tadpole, but now it also have a leg. So tadpole with legs, and this appears in roughly 8 to 10 weeks. Then we have the third stage, which is called the froglet stage. Okay, so this happens in 12 weeks. Okay, then in the fourth stage, this froglet turns into an adult frog. So this happens at the roughly around at 14 weeks. Okay, so you see here that stages are divided into four stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Okay, the first stage is divided into halves, stage 1A and 1B. In 1A you have spawn, and in 1B you have an embryo. Same way, stage 2 is also divided into 2A and 2B, where 2A is tadpole with tail and 2B is tadpole with legs. Okay, then we have the third stage in which we have a froglet. And in the fourth stage, we get an adult frog. So this is the life cycle of a frog. Okay, now the two brother and sisters are talking again. What did they say? Do you think that birds also show significant changes in their various stages of their life cycle? So she says, how does the life cycle of animals differ from that of a plant? So now they're discussing about the life cycle, the difference between the life cycle of an animal and a plant. Okay, so plants and animals are a part of a living world. Remember, they are both living creatures. They go through various changes during the course of their lives. We have learned that a tiny plant, it develops into a big tree. Okay, we also learned how animals grow and change from young ones to adults. This journey varies for each animal. Like you saw, for mosquito it was different, and for frog it was different. So it varies from plant to plant, it varies from animal to animal, making it unique and special. We have seen pupae change into insects and tadpoles change into frog. Such changes are important for both plants and animals to survive and maintain a continuity of their kind. Okay, so we should also take care of them and their homes. By nurturing and preserving their homes, we contribute to the flourishing living world. Okay, so that's all for the chapter. I hope you all have understood everything. In my next lecture, or in my next video, we will be discussing about the NCERT exercise questions. So I'll be uploading all the solutions. I will also upload the PDF of the solutions. Please check for it in the description box or in the comment section. Okay, and let me know if you need any extra questions from inside the chapter. For that, you need to put it in the comment section, extra questions. So I'll make a video on the extra questions as well. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed learning. Take care and bye bye.